talk a little bit about senses in neural activity. So far we've been talking about neural activity in terms of neuron-to-neuron communication, right? Where a neurotransmitter is released, and that's what stimulates the graded potential in the other neuron. Now, changes in transmembrane potential, changes like graded potentials, occur in response to a stimulus. The stimulus that we've been talking about so far has been the neurotransmitter. However, other things can act as a stimulus to activate a graded potential in a neuron, right? With our senses like touch and temperature and hearing and taste and smell. There will be a different stimulus that's not a neurotransmitter that's going to cause the graded potential. There'll be a different stimulus that's going to open the gated ion channels to cause the graded potential. For example, when we feel touch, we're going to be using mechanically gated ion channels instead of chemically gated ion channels in order to feel pressure that's applied to the skin. The pressure acts as the stimulus that opens the mechanical gate, and then ions just diffuse into or out of the neuron, leading to a signal being sent to your brain. What I want to do is to talk about how we can use things other than neurotransmitters to cause graded potentials in neurons. But in order to do that, we need to review our different types of stimulus-gated ion channels. So there are four major types of stimulus-gated ion channels. Right? There are chemically gated ion channels, there are mechanically gated ion channels, temperature-gated ion channels, and voltage-gated ion channels. And all of these channels respond to the stimulus by opening their ion channel. The ions then diffuse down their concentration gradient, flowing either into or out of the cell, causing a change in voltage. Let's take a look at each of these different types of gated ion channels. So first up is the chemically gated ion channel. And we are already professionals at this one because an example of a chemically gated ion channel is a neurotransmitter receptor, right? So chemically gated ion channels, though, can be used for things other than binding to neurotransmitters. For example, we'll use chemically gated ion channels in order to smell and taste. The chemicals in the air or the chemicals in the food that we eat bind to chemically gated ion channels, opening the channel, and that will lead to a graded potential in that neuron, allowing us to smell. Now, don't forget, the chemical itself does not go through the ion channel. The chemical is simply acting as a stimulus that opens the gate, and it's the ions that go through the channel. Mechanically gated ion channels are open due to changes in like movement or pressure or something like that. Some sort of physical stress will cause this type of channel to open. This is how we're going to sense touch, but it's also how we're going to hear and how we will detect balance too. Temperature-gated ion channels are what they sound like. They open due to changes in temperature. Some are open through heat, some are open through cold, but in either case, it's the change in temperature that's causing the gate to open. And then last up are voltage-gated ion channels, which we're also professionals at because these were really important for action potentials, right? So it's changes in voltage that open a voltage-gated ion channel. So again, the whole point here was just to note that things other than neurotransmitters can open our gated ion channels and lead to a graded potential in a neuron. So it doesn't have to be a neurotransmitter that starts a graded potential. It can be some sort of stimulus in the environment, whether it's a sound vibration entering your ear, or light hitting your eye, or a pressure change in a blood vessel. Right? Some sort of stimulus can act as the main mechanism to open these ion channels and cause a graded potential in a neuron. And we explore this in a little bit more detail when we talk about senses in another video.